Hi, I'm John Apolloni, Director of FSG and Hub Business Solutions. Recently, we attended the Xero Roadshow in Sydney and found out what's new with Roster with Ross. Good morning, Michael Pullman. You're from Roster with Ross. Can you tell me all about your product, please?
Absolutely. So we have costed rostering for businesses in retail and hospitality space. Costed rostering including wage award interpretation, Roster Clock, which is our time and attendance product, and we use fingerprint scanners for security, so to ensure that staff aren't clocking on and off when they feel like it, they're clocking on and off, you know that they're actually at the store clocking on. So if you think of a pub, a typical situation is a pub where they have the roster, then the staff clock on and off during the week. Then of course we've got some HR functionality which is listed there. So HR functionality is around collecting things like bank account details, tax file number and superannuation details, as well as visa. So Ross can boost your compliance because we take into account their visa details, and if that visa is due to expire, it'll warn everybody and let them know. We've also got variance reporting. So in a pub or in a quick service restaurant, it's really important to know not only what your costs, your wage costs look like when you put together the roster, but also when you, at the end of the week, when you're looking at your variance. So you want to know, okay, this is my plan, my costed roster, how did I go against my plan?
So that's terrific. So you've indicated that you work mainly with hospitality, pubs, clubs. What size is your ideal sweet spot for clients? What's sort of the range of client size?
Yeah, our ideal clients are anybody with more than 50 employees. So anybody smaller than that, we'd refer to one of our colleagues here. But anybody bigger than 50 employees typically has trouble with collecting staff details, with putting together costed rosters. It's very easy for the labour cost to blow out and get out of control. So anybody with multiple outlets and 50 staff or above is perfect for us. That's pubs, clubs, retail, basically anybody in a Westfield, anywhere where there's a pool of staff who work at different times of the day.
So I noticed that you've indicated one of the areas is HR. So in hospitality, there's often a very high turnover of staff, casuals coming and going, and there's a lot of paperwork that's required in regards to contracts and employment. Now, how does Ross handle that?
Yeah, certainly. So our HR allows the payroll manager or the manager of a store to electronically onboard their staff members. So they can put in some basic details about the staff, like first name, last name, email address, give them a login to Ross, and then they can put in all those details we talked about. So tax file number, superannuation, bank account details. They can collect all that information. So when that staff member turns up for their first shift, everybody knows about them, everybody knows when they should be working, everybody knows all of their details. So there's no worries about, am I going to get paid for the first week? What details should I know? They can do their inductions online, we can store their employment documents. So it's just about making the employee confident on their first shift that everybody knows who they are.
Okay, that's terrific. And again, when you've got such a large base of casuals and when you're dealing with clubs or pubs that have got 50 plus employees, rostering can be quite a challenging task. How does Ross go about making that simpler for these businesses?
Yeah, it can be really, really complex. So what we do is we take into account all of the details that the manager would need to know. So the staff availability, their wages, their skills that they have. So if you need somebody who has the skill of, or has the RP badge or the RSA badge, we can take that into account, and the manager puts together a roster that's costed and also takes into account all those skills, availabilities and leave. So there are some soft details that the managers know, things like this person works well with this person, or this person's a junior so they need a senior next to them, and they know those details. So when they put together the roster, they've got the hard data and they've got the soft data from the things that they know about the staff.
Okay, and does Ross intuitively make suggestions as to who could be or who should be put on different areas?
Yeah, it sure does. We've got a fairly sophisticated ranking hierarchy. When you create a new shift for a staff member, it pops up a list of all the available staff and sorts them across a number of factors, mainly what skills they have and also what they're going to cost for that shift. So we actually do the award interpretation for every single shift as you create it. So if somebody's worked over their amount of hours that they should have worked for the week and they pop into overtime, they're going to be further down the list because they're going to cost more. So you can see the most cost-effective employee at the top of the list.
And how does Ross handle the different state laws?
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome question. It's really, really complex, and we can handle that complexity. So we have a really sophisticated award interpretation rule engine, which takes into account after 9 p.m. rates, Saturday rates, Sunday rates, even laundry allowances. In fast food, they have to pay $1.25 per shift for the employee to wash their clothes, which is fine. We can cost that and handle that as well. We've got clients all across Australia, New Zealand, China, and Singapore as well, so we can handle all the different labour laws in a lot of jurisdictions.
So it's obviously a very comprehensive, intuitive piece of software that works out there. Now, the question I did want to ask is, if I've got a prospective client who's looking at ROS, what's the process in installing ROS and training and learning how to use it? Typically, how long does it take and what's involved?
Yeah, sure. So a good example is one of our recent clients, Max Brenner. Well, they've got 40 stores and 1,000 employees. We did their training and implementation in 2 weeks. So for a typical pub, club or retail chain, we can bring them in, we can import the staff data from Xero, set up the wage rules and the wage rates and link those with Xero as well. We typically do that in about an hour consultation session with the client, and then we do a half an hour training session with the manager, so with the retail manager.
I was going to ask, with respect to Xero, what are the key integrations with Xero? Does it just take information out of Xero, or does it put information into Xero, or is there an exchange of information?
Definitely an exchange of information. So our Xero integration is very sophisticated in that we can pull employee data from Xero, we can push employee data to Xero, so that's even the bank account, tax file number, those sort of details. And we can also link the award rates in ROS with the earnings rates in Xero. So that means that if you've got an employee who's worked on Saturday, on Sunday, and also worked on Wednesday night, and they've got 3 different rates that apply, ROS will populate their Xero timesheet as an approved timesheet, split into all of those hours. So it's very quick and easy to do the payroll integration.
And the payroll integration means that payroll is actually done in Xero or in ROS?
Yeah. Yep, payroll is definitely done in Xero. So you run the Xero payroll as normal, but we've got a client here, Ben, it takes him 5 minutes to do his payroll, and he's got 25 staff across 2 stores.
That's fantastic. Now, again, getting back to the installation, roughly what's the installation time frame?
Yeah, installation timeframe. Installation is very quick and easy. All we do is we would train the manager. It's all cloud-based, so there's really nothing to install. If the client does want to do time and attendance, we can install a time and attendance application and plug in a USB fingerprint scanner. So it's very quick and easy to do installation.
So is it typically done over 1-2 days, a week?
Generally, we would do the first training session in the first week, and then a second training session the following week. So teach them how to do the rosters, and then teach them how to do the actuals or reconciliation. So there's about an hour and a half's worth of training involved.
Okay, so hardcore questions. What are the key benefits? Give me 3 key benefits of ROS.
3 key benefits. So costed rostering, including award interpretation.
Yep.
So in these businesses, it's all about labour cost. So bringing that labour cost down. Eliminating time theft through biometric time and attendance. A lot of big words. That's just fingerprint scanning. So making sure that you know who the employee is, who's clocking on. So eliminating time there. And HR, going paperless and eliminating time spent doing data entry for payroll. That's our 3 key benefits.
Well, that's been fantastic. That's been excellent. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Bye, Michael. So to get your business in the cloud with Xero or its add-on partners, just click the link. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.